And we're back for another great episode of Online Pass Replay. This is, of course, the show where we watch old episodes of Online Pass. This is a news quiz show that I did like 5 or 6 years ago that not a lot of people watched. I haven't seen them in a long time. And what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be answering those questions. But before we do that, I want to introduce the co-host, the person I'm going to be competing against, my competitor, Lorne Risley, the host of Defunct Games News. Say hi, Lorne.
Hi, Lorne.
How are things going this week, Lorne?
Things are pretty good. We're obviously fresh off of the latest episode of DGN, which was a monster, and we're also fresh off of the previous quiz where, if memory serves, you got away with a draw.
Yes, we tied. And you're right, by the way. Boy, that last episode was a monster. It was pushing 30 minutes. The last couple of weeks have been great. 2 of the best episodes we've had so far. The audience loves it. Do you have a tease for what we can expect this week?
Well, good news, bad news, depending on your, your preference on video lengths. But this week, I think, is probably going to be more fun. I think we're going to bounce around a little bit with stories, and I think there's going to be, we like to poke fun at ourselves, but we more like to poke fun at the news. So we'll be giving you a lot to smile about in the coming week for sure.
Well, I look forward to that. That, of course, Defunct Games News every Sunday, or at least most Sundays.
Every Sunday.
We're not gonna tie you to every single Sunday.
I've got 100 episode quota to fill according to my recent third episode contract. So yeah, we got to get cracking through these episodes, my friend.
Definitely. All right, but before we do that, we need to crack through this quiz. This is a big quiz. We had the week off last week. We're going to jump right back in. This is going to be our 3rd episode. This is Online Pass, the weekly video game news quiz from August 9th, 2015. Neither of us have watched this. We have no idea what's to come.
Okay, nada.
There's going to be 7 questions, just like normal, I believe. And at the end of this, we're going to figure out which one of us knows the news better. And so we'll talk through this. Are you ready to jump into this, Lorne?
Little hand says it's time to rock and roll.
All right. Well, let's jump in. Starting now.
Let's do it. You know the time, people. It's time to dance.
It's so good.
This is Online Pass, the weekly video game news quiz show. My name is Cyril Lorne. I'm going to ask you a series of questions based on some of the biggest news stories from the past
Still the
week.
crack in the voice.
It's your job to answer each question correctly. So grab a piece of paper and a number 2 pencil.
Check.
Because this is a test.
Got those. We're doing this, folks.
Let's do this.
Hopefully you'll go along with us.
Question 1.
Question
I'm only slightly exaggerating when I say that Nolan North is in every video game ever made. From Uncharted to Assassin's Creed to Arkham Knight, the prolific voice actor pops up just about everywhere. This week we learned that Nolan will be featured in Bungie's Destiny. What famous actor is he replacing?
Oh, wow. Nice easy one to kick off with for a change. Nice.
I actually think I remember this.
I remember this
too. Go ahead.
Oh, you
remember this?
Oh, okay. You pass it to me for once. Interesting. Okay, the changing of the guard. I like it. I remember this very well because I remember seeing a lot of the reviews for it in the beginning, and I remember this actor getting a fair amount of criticism for his performance. And that would be one Peter Dinklage.
That's right. You're 100% right. It's Peter Dinklage, who, I mean, come on. He was on the biggest show of the time, and what could possibly go wrong? Everybody loves Peter Dinklage. He's like the thing, even when people hated the ending, everyone still loved Peter Dinklage. But no, apparently they did not like his phoned-in performance.
Apparently, Peter Dinklage is an actor who has to be motivated for a role, and the idea of a genre-spanning first-person shooter for the ages wasn't motivational enough for him. So, fair enough.
Man, they really did say, hey, do you want 10 years of Destiny? Not really. So Peter Dinklage, I mean, obviously, I think you are 100% right on that. We're both going to get this one right.
Well, hey.
Right, I mean, right off the bat, we're doing well.
All right.
Question 2.
Question 2. I've got good news and bad news. The good news is that Tony Hawk's Pro Skater looks like it's finally back on track, and the skateboarding champ will return to form later this year. Unfortunately, the bad news is that developer Robomoto decided to make a massive change to the game 2 months before release. What did they change?
Ooh.
A massive change to the game 2 months before release.
Yeah. What did they change?
I have no idea what they could change that would be that noteworthy.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to go back.
Would it have been a roster change? Like, did they omit somebody, or?
You're right. Did like one of the jackass guys get into some trouble or something?
Maybe. Probably not, though. I would have thought it would have been something to do with the game, like what the game can do, maybe, or a mode or something.
Like maybe they added like more online stuff, or I don't know.
Well, I don't know the answer to this, so I'm going to guess the former, which is that they've made a roster addition or a roster omission rather than a change to the game itself. But I'm not 100% confident of that. What are you thinking?
Boy. I don't remember. I you know what? It's probably something related to the soundtrack. That's what I'll say. Like, you know, I think you're on the right track when it comes to like omitting stuff, but I think it might be because of like license. I'm trying. Was this wasn't the sequel? Was this the remake of 1 and 2, or they did the HD upgrade of 1 and 2?
That was
they got
more
rid of
recently. I think this was. I think this is. If this is back in 2015, wouldn't this been the rival to Skate?
No,
Skate. I remember being
I'm
a
not
big
talking
deal.
about like the remake. No, wait. No, this would have been, what was it? A 5. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5. So it wouldn't have been okay. I'm just gonna. I don't remember. I'm gonna say it has something to do with the soundtrack.
Well, actually, right around that time. So, didn't they? They were making a big push for the sort of the peripheral stuff, like the skateboard that you could plug in. And
right. That was earlier though. That was years earlier, because I owned that.
Okay.
I got that for review. That's one of those where when I was getting Activision games sent to me to my door.
Nice.
That was one where I opened up the door and almost tripped over it because it was a big package, and oh man, that's the worst thing ever. Yeah, I'm gonna say it's something related to the soundtrack, but I think I'm wrong about that.
Okay.
So, all right, you're saying omitting a character or a personality, and I'm saying soundtrack.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Question 3.
Question 3. This week, the internet erupted with excitement when Konami announced a brand new Silent Hill game. Why was that excitement short-lived?
Because it was canceled?
Sounds about right.
Wait, what? I'm trying to think of. I mean, that seems too obvious. Oh no! Wait. Was this after it was canceled? No, I know why. No. Okay, go ahead. Do you think what do you think it is?
I thought it was because it would be. That seems like the reasonable assumption to make, is that they announce it and then a couple of days later they pull it for whatever reason.
No, I remember exactly what it was.
Okay.
And it's because, and Konami has pulled this trick a couple of times, where they get people real excited because, oh, there's another Metal Gear, or oh, there's another this, or another that, or another big franchise. And it ends up not being a game, but rather a
machine.
What's yeah.
What are they called? Pinko machines?
It's something like,
What is it called? I know, yes, you are. Do you know what?
That is exactly,
you're probably right. because I remember they did something similar with. Actually, I might even be thinking of the Silent Hills. Oh man, yeah, I think you're right.
I think that is it. Yeah.
Man, I think you're right.
Pachinko?
Yes, you're right. Yes,
Yeah,
pachinko machines. Yes. Yeah, I think you're right.
I'm saying pachinko.
Well, I don't want to claim your answer, so I'm gonna say that it was a game that was cancelled.
Okay. We're just going through these quickly. Here's question 4.
Question 4. There's trouble in the world of Azeroth. After more than a decade, gamers have begun to flee World of Warcraft in favor of a myriad of other MMOs. More than 1.5 million subscribers abandoned the game between the first and second quarters of this year, leaving Blizzard's online RPG at its lowest level since 2005. How many people are still subscribed to World of Warcraft?
Wow.
Oh, man.
That was not the question I thought you were going to ask there.
How many people are still subscribed? And this is in 2015, as opposed to now, where there are far fewer. But I don't even know how many are now. I mean, did more people come back when the classic version? I don't know.
I mean, do you have an upper limit on how many people were playing at its peak?
At its peak? God, it was more than 20 million. I don't know, maybe 20 or 25 million, something like that.
Okay.
So I don't think it's I gotta say it's under. It's got to be under 20 million, I would say.
Okay.
Do you want me to go first, or do you have a guess?
I will, again, in this classic game of let's just play prices right a little bit here, I will go with 15 million.
Okay.
I will undercut you so that you can then decide what upper limit you're prepared to gamble with.
Boy, you see, that is what I was going to say too. So I guess maybe just in case you're going to get it wrong, or maybe it's just in fear that maybe you will have gone too high.
If you go 15,000,001, I swear to God,
I'm not. No, I'll do 12 million.
12 million. Okay.
That way it gives me like 3 million basically to play with.
And how close do either one of us have to be to get the point on this?
Well, we can argue it at the time.
Okay, that's interesting.
So you're saying 15, and I'm saying 12.
A straight 15 million versus your 12. Yes, I feel like that's safe. That's good.
I think you're right. I think it is 15 million, but we'll see here in a minute.
We'll see.
Question 5. Killer Instinct Season 3 was announced at Gamescom earlier this week. While no gameplay or information was given, Microsoft did unveil a surprise guest cameo. What rare replay superstar just made his debut in Killer Instinct?
Okay.
I have not a Scooby-Doo on this one, so
I know what this one is.
In that case, then, okay. Yeah, one.
Okay. Go ahead.
All I was going to say was I got to take a hard pass on it because I couldn't give you an answer if you tried, so it's on you.
Well, okay, I know for a fact that it's one of the Battletoads. But I don't know if in order to get this right, if just saying one of the Battletoads is going to be good enough. Which means that it's either, well, who were the 3 Battletoads? There was what? Rash, Pimple. Do you remember what the 3 Battletoads were?
I'm afraid I don't, but bearing this in mind, I feel like you need to get the Battletoad in question. I feel like that's
thanks.
That's a fair criteria to place on the burden of answering this question, Cyril.
I'm just gonna say Rash.
Okay.
But it is 100%. It is one of the Battletoads.
Okay.
That I know for sure. All right. So you're not going to say any?
I literally have no idea, so I don't feel it's I feel like I tell you what. I'd be prepared to make a bargain with you, which is I'll give you half a point for Battletoads if I can claim a half a point for Battletoads. If you get the full point, and I get nothing if you get the Battletoad name right.
Are you gonna say Pimple?
No, I'm gonna say I don't get anything if you get it right, as in the name.
Okay. Well, we'll just go with the name.
All right.
Hopefully, I'm right. All right.
So you either get nothing or I get nothing either way. So yeah, kind of a win-win.
We will see. Yes. I hope it's Rash. Next question.
Question
Almost done
6.
with this.
I wasn't surprised when Mighty Number 9 was pushed to 2016. That was bound to happen. However, I was surprised when Microsoft and Creative Assembly announced an unexpected sequel. What real-time strategy game did they announce?
We'll get to the throwback question here in a second, but okay.
Creative Assembly. Oh,
I know what this is.
Which was the other one at Creative Assembly and?
Microsoft.
An unexpected sequel.
Yeah. And it's not something I use Mighty Number 9 as sort of the in, but it doesn't have anything to do with that.
No, I didn't think so. I'm just trying to get my ducks in a row, I guess.
I'm gonna write it down just so that I have it locked in. So hold on here.
No,
okay, I've written it down.
It's not coming to me.
Okay, I am pretty sure the correct answer, and what I wrote down is Halo Wars 2. Because I'm pretty sure Creative Assembly worked on that. And that was like that first one, because you remember that was the real-time strategy game. Yeah. And it wasn't super popular, at least not, in the Halo sense. And was a little questionable how well it played on console because it was not easy to play. So I think a lot of people were pretty surprised when they announced another one and then never announced a third one. So I'm pretty sure that it's Halo Wars 2.
I got nothing on this one either. So
okay.
There we go.
All right. Let's see if the throwback question changes your fortune.
Let's see what we got.
Let's see how far back we go with the throwback question.
And now, the throwback round, where I pull questions from old game magazines. Brace yourself. The next corner is tough.
That's a Ridge Racer quote.
20 years ago today, Nintendo of America was gearing up for the launch of the Virtual Boy. Although maligned by the press, Nintendo head Howard Lincoln didn't seem fazed. He told Next Generation magazine, "I think there are limitations and advantages in any video game product. And I'm sure all the disadvantages can be quickly turned into advantages, particularly by the marketing people." What successful console did Howard Lincoln use to defend the Virtual Boy against negative press?
All right. Well, there actually aren't that many to choose from, especially before 1995. So, before you answer that question, let me ask you this question, Lorne. Have you ever played a Virtual Boy in real life?
I have not. No.
Have you ever seen a Virtual Boy in real life?
I have not. No.
Do you know what the Virtual Boy is?
I've heard it in passing, but it wasn't in my gaming lexicon until more recently, when it's been referenced a few more times. But I'm sure you have at least some familiarity. So
I own one.
So you have some familiarity then. That's good.
Yeah. There's a video that I posted a long time ago that people should go and watch, where I talk about my experience at the Consumer Electronics Show, because I was at the Winter Consumer Electronics Show the year that Nintendo introduced that for the first time here in the US before it went on sale, at a trade show, and everybody had to stand in a big long line. And there's a pretty great story about how we waited for like a couple hours, and we went into this geodesic dome, which was, pitch black in there. You put your eyes in there because it's like a goggle system, right? You put your eyes in there, and it has like a 3D effect, though it's all red lines. It's kind of hard on your eyes. And I'm going to ruin the punchline here. People should go watch that video. It is very funny. But I remember to this day, like everybody, like we were in there for only like a few minutes because, you know, the line had to keep moving, and they only allowed a few people in. And the person, I remember they get out of it, and they have the brochure, and they see that it's like $170. And the guy was livid. He just shouting mad. And you should definitely go watch the video for what exactly he said, because it was profane. And it was great. But like, yeah, that system came out as $160, or maybe $170. It was like $160 or $170. And remember, in 1995, which so like we're talking like probably $300 here, you know, if we're talking inflation. It did not have a big library of games, only a few dozen. It was hard on the eyes, like I said. I ended up buying it only a few months after, like, it didn't last very long. I don't think it lasted like a year. And then I remember buying one at Walmart, like new, with the pack-in game, with Mario Tennis, for like $20 or $30. And wow. Yeah,
pretty marked difference in price there.
Yeah, they were getting rid of them. And it was it was pretty bad. And it was Nintendo, like, when it comes to game systems, it was Nintendo's first big flop, and it came at a bad time, because it came right before the Nintendo 64, and they, you know, which was supposed to come out that year, but they kept delaying it and ended up coming out like a year later. We did a whole history lesson right here just from talking about this. We haven't even gotten to the answer yet. I think I know the answer. Do you?
I have no idea what the answer is, so I was glad to learn. I fear that you haven't given me the answer in the response though, so I feel like you need to. I think you need to illuminate us here. What's the answer?
I think there's only one right answer. Well, okay. It could either be the original Nintendo Entertainment System, which was coming off of the Great Game Crash. And I think, you know, the concern was a lot of people said that it would be a big failure. Or it could be the Game Boy. It can't be the Super Nintendo, because they were already, you know, coming off of the big success of the Nintendo Entertainment System. So it's either the Game Boy or the Nintendo Entertainment System, I think. I think it's the Game Boy, but part of me thinks it might be that I'm picking wrong, and it might be the NES. Do you want to say the NES just to hedge your bet?
If you don't mind, yes. I will take the NES, and you can take. I mean, because look, here's the thing: you're picking the more certain answer. I feel like
I think so.
I feel like me picking what could be the right answer, in spite of you picking it for me, would be more entertaining than not picking.
Yes.
So yes, I will go with the NES.
Watch you win because of that. All right, let's look at the answers. Here we go.
Let's do this.
All right, pencils down, everybody.
Pencils down.
Let's see how you did. Here are the answers.
Okay.
Answer 1.
Despite being the Emmy Award-winning star of Game of Thrones, Peter Dinklage had a hard time being taken seriously in Destiny.
Ugh.
His phoned-in performance was roundly mocked even before the game came out, and it seemed like the writing was on the wall when he didn't show up in the downloadable content.
Yes.
Now Tyrion Lannister is being replaced by Nolan North, a seasoned pro who should be able to read Bungie's dumb writing as it was originally intended.
All right, I want to point out here, this has nothing to do with the answer. I'm going to pause here real quick. Here's a big pet peeve I have, and it's something about that we just saw with Destiny, which is whenever a game comes out and they're advertising, especially like their TV advertising, the commercials, are live action people, like as if it's a movie and not a video game. I kind of hate that, because I kind of want to see the gameplay footage, and I don't know, it feels a little shady. It feels like you're selling the wrong thing.
It does. I will even go a step further. I think games companies employing actors who typically don't have voiceover experience for games and then wondering why it doesn't translate is kind of an insult to the genre in terms of, voice actors need to know what beats to hit and how to convey certain things in games, and that's why maybe you should, be a bit more careful in who you, again, base what could end up be a decade's worth of gameplay around.
That's a great point. I agree completely. That's a great point. All right.
There we go.
Answer 2.
1 for 1 so far.
Only a few weeks before launch, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5 got a facelift.
Oh,
in a development nobody saw coming. The skateboarding simulator
cel-shaded.
went from uber realistic to cel shaded.
That's
the new
right.
design certainly gives the game a more artistic look. But the sudden change is surprising so late in development.
Yeah.
Of course, as long as Ollie Ollie 2 still exists, it doesn't really matter what happens to Tony Hawk's Pro Skater.
True!
Yeah.
Ollie Ollie is great. And the fact that they haven't made a Ollie Ollie game that is snowboarding is criminal. Get on that.
Get on it. I'm not sure how I feel about the cel-shaded look of a Tony Hawk anyway. It's also always kind of supposed to look a little bit cruddy.
I think the new one looked pretty good though, right?
It's okay.
It's gonna have remake that they did.
It's gonna have a kind of a grind. It's skateboarding. It's kind of a there's kind of a streetness to the scene.
Yeah,
said
okay.
the out of touch male. Anyway, moving on.
Moving on. Answer 3.
Hey everybody, there's a new Silent Hill game. But don't get too excited, because it's not that Kojima del Toro joint that we were promised last year. In fact, the new Silent Hill won't play on any console you currently own. That's because it's a pachinko machine.
Boom.
That's right, Konami has once again decided to troll us. In case you're curious, the new machine will be based on Silent Hill 2, and... who am I kidding? You don't care about pachinko.
Nope.
Nope. Don't care. We never got that over here. At least I don't think we did. But hey, it's cool that it's based off of Silent Hill 2.
I gotta say, I don't know if anyone else has noticed this. I really like Cyril from this era where he's...
Do you?
Do you know what? Who cares? The fact that you ran out of steam there is that was so funny. That was great.
This is very dickish, sarcastic Cyril era.
You don't care.
All right, no.
That's great.
Here we get to. All right, now we get to see who comes closest.
You have a lead at this point. This is my opportunity to use gambling as a way to catch up with you, which is nice.
That's right.
So let's see how that pays off.
Well, let me ask you, do you want to bet on this one?
What are the stakes, young Cyril?
Answer 4.
While losing 1.5 million subscribers sounds dire,
is that it?
The truth is that World of Warcraft remains a big moneymaker for Blizzard. There are currently 5.6 million subscribers,
damn it.
down from 7.1 million just
Wow,
earlier
it's
this year.
that low?
At its peak, World of Warcraft had more than 12 million subscribers.
Close with
At
the top one.
$15, the MMO is still bringing in roughly $84 million a month, which is more than I can say about most 11-year-old games.
Okay. Well, I'm not. Okay.
So now we've established that I've definitely got the answer wrong. Let's come back. Let's cycle back to what you were saying about let's debate about how close we have to be.
No, I got it wrong too.
Oh, okay, good. I'm glad we.
I got it way. I'm way off. I mean, I was right when it came to like the original. I mean, you heard at the peak it was 12 million. That wasn't obviously the question. So yeah, for some odd reason I thought it was a lot more. Maybe I'm just confusing it with more modern games.
Yeah, I mean, the age we live in, as we reported in DGN last week, some of these player bases are crazy big these days. Like, the numbers they're generating is absolutely unbelievable.
Yeah, absolutely. And, oh boy, I had completely forgotten that in 2015, the game was still 11 years old. Oh. Man, it's hard to believe that it's 16 years old. Yikes! All right, let's go on to answer 5.
For a franchise that hasn't seen a new installment
It's
since
the
the Clinton
Battletoads.
administration, the Battletoads seem to be all over modern games.
It Zits?
Not only were
Rash!
they one of the
man.
standouts in the just-released Rare Retro compilation,
Damn it.
but they also made a cameo appearance in Shovel Knight. And if that wasn't enough, Rash made his Killer Instinct debut earlier this week. With exaggerated moves and a distinct look, he's sure to be a fan favorite. But here's the serious question. All these cameos are leading to a brand new Battletoads game, right?
Right.
Yep.
Halo Wars is often the butt of the joke.
Yeah!
It was a stripped-down real-time strategy game that was made to fit on consoles. It was an interesting attempt, but it got panned by critics, and Halo fans didn't embrace it. Apparently Microsoft still sees potential in the franchise, because Halo Wars 2 was just announced on the Xbox One and PC. At least it's not another sequel to Spartan Assault. Even Howard Lincoln seemed aware that the Virtual Boy was a stinker. The Nintendo president made an impassioned plea to game journalists just months leading up to the launch, but it felt half-hearted at best. My recollection is that there were similar questions about the Game Boy when we launched it, noted Lincoln. Ultimately, the product is judged by our shareholders in terms of whether it sells and whether it makes a good profit. In that case, the mission was not accomplished.
No. There we go. Oh, 5 for 7.
I was going to say, it wasn't even close.
I killed
that
it this
final
episode.
sequence of questions was just a streak that would not end.
How did you do?
I got 1.
1?
The first question right, and that's it. And I listened to you for the last one. And actually, question 4, you're the one that said 15 million is probably about right, Lorne. You massaged I listened to you. You massaged my ego. You guided me down a path. I listened to you. Damn it.
Well, I mean, I was going to say 15 before you said it. So, oh, boy. You should not have listened to me when it came to... Apparently, if we've learned anything from the last couple episodes, you should just not listen to me when it comes to numbers. Because I'm way off when it comes to numbers.
You are eternally optimistic when it comes to numbers, it seems. I think that's a good thing. Nothing wrong with that. But I'm assuming you're pretty happy with your score considering your last performance.
I'm not sure I'm ever going to be able to top 5 for 7. I think this is maybe going to be the peak of my competitive online pass performance. I think I'm ready to go to the majors.
Well, I mean, I'll be here in the amateur leagues waiting for you when you invariably come back, looking for that easy win. So,
well,
there we go.
Be back. We're going to be back next week with another great episode. We have a whole bunch more of these to do. And but before that happens, I'm going to remind everybody yet again that we have a new episode that's going to launch, a new episode of Defunct Games News that's going to launch on Sunday. And I know I speak for everybody when I say that we cannot wait to see. You put so much time and effort into it. They're really great episodes, Lorne. The last couple, especially, if people have not gone back. Look, I know the news is a little outdated now, but people should go back and watch that whole the Sinking City story because it's fascinating. I can't believe the twists and turns that went along with that. It's crazy.
I appreciate that. However, I would counter it by saying it's stunning how often these stories come back round. If there's one thing that I've learned in covering gaming news is that this stuff factors into new and recurring news so often that I've gotten to grips with a lot of the stuff that frankly escaped my notice beforehand and now is factoring in ways that I didn't imagine it would. So yeah, I agree. Go back, watch some of the original episodes and watch some of the more recent episodes because I guarantee some of that stuff is going to factor in to upcoming episodes as well.
Absolutely. And they're so funny. You're really great at those. Anyway, enough patting you on the back. Because you really sucked today. And so
that's more like it. That feels better.
All right. Anyway, we have the Defunct Games news coming soon. We have another episode of this coming next week and a whole bunch of reviews in the near future. So thank you, Lorne, for showing up and competing against me, even though it wasn't even close. Thank you, Lorne. We'll see you next week.
See you next time.
Hey, thanks for watching this episode of Online Pass Replay. If you liked what you saw here, then you should know that we're going to be going through all 19 episodes of the original series. That means that there are a whole 16 more of these to go. Look for a new episode next Saturday. Now, here's the question I have for you. Should Microsoft bring Killer Instinct back for the new Xbox? Look, I'm not the biggest Killer Instinct fan. In fact, I kinda hated the old games, but they might as well. Let me see what you have to say in the comments below. Also, let me know how you did in this quiz. Did you beat me? Come on, be honest. In other news, we'll be back tomorrow with a new episode of Defunct Games News. Followed next week with a review of Wind Peaks, Male Mole, and more. If that sounds good to you, then I strongly recommend you click that subscribe button and support what we're doing here. Until then,